everyone. I'm Adam Brown, and this is Show Point Today for the weekend of June 19th, 20th, and 21st. On today's show, we will talk about the benefits and uses of vegetables and how to integrate them into a balanced diet. Also, we'll bring you the top stories from all of this week. But first, we want to remind you, on Sunday, you can catch the matinee in the Grand Cypress Room. The film The Solid Gold Cadillac from 1956, starring Judy Holliday, will be shown. The film is about a small stockholder of a large New York company who takes on its crooked board of directors and falls in love with the company's gruff CEO. You can catch the film at 2:30 on Sunday. Again, that's in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. Also, Sunday is Father's Day. In celebration of fathers everywhere, the Crystal Room will have a special Father's Day brunch from 10:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. An extensive salad bar and assorted brunch items, including Eggs Benedict, omelets, and waffles prepared to order, will be served. Prime rib, roast pork tenderloin, applewood smoked salmon with dill sauce, and Dijon chicken. Okay, stop it already. I haven't eaten lunch yet. Anyway, for $17.50, the Father's Day brunch is a tempting offer you'll want to be sure to take advantage of on Sunday. And as we continue to talk about food, did you know that 4 stalks of celery a day can dramatically reduce your blood pressure? Heather Batty of Resort Services speaks with nutritionist Marie Roelle about the benefits and uses of vegetables and how to integrate them into your balanced diet.
Hi, I'm Heather Batty with Resort Services, and I'm back today with Maria Roelle, our wellness coach, who's here to talk to us today about another exciting program she's going to be having, and that's Veggies and their healing properties. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Heather. Thank you for bringing me in today. Basically, what our class is going to be on is I'm going to pick out about 20 to 25 vegetables and discuss briefly what healing properties those are. So 2 of the top ones that I use in my regimen almost every day, at least every week, is cucumbers. And because raw cucumbers put into a smoothie basically don't have a lot of taste, but it does add a green property, and it provides you with a ton of silica, natural silica, which helps rebuild bone and joints.
Oh, wow.
So that's a wonderful thing to add. But and you can get hydroponic cucumbers really inexpensively these days. It's not a real expensive thing to add.
Say that again?
A hydroponic is a vegetable that's grown in water rather than in dirt. So it's a real clean vegetable.
So the cucumbers that would be grown in dirt from the earth wouldn't do the same?
No, they're the same. Okay. It's just you don't have to worry about the organic, non-organic aspect of it. Just a hydroponic vegetable. It's real, and they're very inexpensive. Another one is beets. Mm-hmm. And beets, a raw beet, not cooked beets, not steamed beets, because once you steam, cook, or boil certain vegetables, the phytochemicals that you're looking to absorb, the live enzymes into your body, a lot of them die if you get them over a certain temperature. So with raw beets, you don't have to peel them, you don't have to do anything, just scrub the dirt off, cut the top off, take the little tail off, and toss it in a blender. And it cleanses. It's very good for cleansing your blood. It's very good for ridding yourself of parasites.
Wow.
It's extremely good for cancer fighting properties and tumor fighting properties. So yeah, little red beets or orange beets are even really good too.
So how much of the cucumber or the beets would you recommend has to be in that serving of your smoothie?
Depending on how large your smoothie is. Now, for me, because I'm active and athletic and I work out 3 or 4 times a week, I drink a large, probably 25-ounce smoothie every single morning. Mm-hmm. And it varies. Not every single day will I have a beet. Not every single day will I have a cucumber. Okay. You want to switch those things up. But when I do, I probably have about 3 inches of cucumber in one serving, or 1 small beet, okay. A small beet. Because now you can get beets that are about half a pound, and you don't want to throw a whole beet in your smoothie. It's very uncomfortable for your liver because it has to filter it. But a big chunk, a quarter of a large beet maybe, but not too, you don't want to overwhelm yourself because it is real strong. Foods are very, very strong on your system, and beets can have a tendency to be uncomfortable I like to use that word, for your liver. You can actually feel cramping sometimes.
Interesting. Well, it sounds like I have some new things to put in my smoothie in the morning for my breakfast. I have yet to try cucumber. Well, if you're also interested in coming to this program, it's on June 24th, and it's Veggies and Their Healing Properties with Maria Roelle. Thank you, and have a great day.
And now it's time for all of the latest happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections.
Hello and welcome to the Weekend Edition Happening segment of ShellPoint TV. I'm Caitlin Vanscoy, and I'm here with Bev Chanley, and we're going to let you know what's happening Friday through Sunday. Well, I'm here to tell you about Friday's activities. Our first one starts at 8:15 with the Stamp Ministry in the Stamp Room down in the Island Tunnel. From 8:30 to 11:30, the Friday Marketplace will be in the Administration Courtyard. And at 9 o'clock, Canasta and Samba will be played at the common second floor lobby of the Woodlands. 9 o'clock, we have men's round robin doubles tennis at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. And a Health Connections class at 10:15 called Dental Implants. That's in the Social Center, and you do need to sign up for that. 10:15, Inquiring Minds will be meeting in the Manatee Room. 10:15 is the time for Model Yacht Sailing Club to meet at the Commons Lake at the Woodlands. And at 10:30, the Suzy-Q heads out to St. Charles Yacht Club. You do need to sign up for that. We move to the afternoon activities and start at 12:30 with mixed progressive bridge in the game room of the Woodlands. And advanced table tennis will be played in the Tarpon Room at 1:15. Quilters will be gathering in the Osprey Room at 1:15. And 1:30, we have our first Vespers of the day in the Community Room of the Arbor. 2 o'clock's the time for Bid Euchre to be played in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. And 2:15, we have water volleyball at the LifeQuest Aquatic Center. 2:30 is another Vespers Community Room of King's Crown. Our last Vespers of the day is at 3:30 at the Springs. Pickleball will be played at 4 o'clock at the Pickleball Courts. And our last Friday activity is at 6:45 with Resident Game Night in the Resident Activity Center. Here's Bev to tell you all about our Saturday activities.
Thanks, Caitlin. We're going to start with some 8 o'clock pickleball. That'll be played at the Pickleball Courts behind the Resident Activity Center. Also at 8 o'clock, we have the round robin doubles tennis at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. At 9:30, men and women's doubles tennis will be at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. Duplicate bridge will be played in the Manatee Room on the island at 9:45. And we're going to jump to the afternoon for a 1 o'clock chess game. That's in the Library Lounge of the Resident Activity Center. Table tennis will be in the Tarpon Room and all weekend long, unless it's posted otherwise, at 1:15. And our last Saturday activity is the 3:15 basic line dancing in the Health Club. Back to Caitlin for Sunday's activities.
Thank you, Bev. And happy Father's Day to all of you dads out there. At 9 o'clock, we have Christian Life Studies in the game room of the Woodlands and also in the Village Church. 10:15 is the time for morning worship in the Village Church. It's also broadcasted live on ShellPoint TV, Channel 13. 10:30, we have a Father's Day brunch at the Crystal Room to celebrate Father's Day. That'll be in the Crystal Dining Room from 10:30 to 2 o'clock. The Sunday matinee will be happening at 2:30. The movie is The Solid Gold Cadillac. It's a 1956 film that'll be held in the Grand Cypress Room. Our last Sunday activity is at 6:15 with an evening service at the Village Church. Thank you so much for joining us for the Weekend Edition. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for next week. On Monday, June 22nd, Anatomy of Words will be taking place, and on Tuesday, the 23rd of June, How Caribbean Sugar Helped George Washington Win Independence. Yes, this is with Professor Adrian Kerr. We also have that eye clinic with questions about your iPad or your iPhone that Penny Modridge of Nautilus brings. On Wednesday, June 24th, we have a legacy seminar, number 2, Estate Planning Fundamentals for Florida Residents. And on Thursday, June 25th, an AARP Smart Driver course. This time we have a new resident instructor, new to us. Her name is Mary Richard of Sand Dollar. We also have an Academy on the Go, number 4, where we have an educational field trip to the Cape Coral History Museum. And we have Shrinking Government, number 1 of 2 sessions with Norton McKnight of Lucena.
Menus for your weekend. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is shrimp scampi over pasta with garlic bread and herbed green beans. And the soup of the day is New England clam chowder. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Friday, the special is a smoked sausage on a roll with onion rings for $7.75. The dinner special is Chef's Choice for $8.75. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are shrimp romesco for $15.95 or Florida lobster tails for $22.95. On Saturday, the Crystal Room is closed. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Saturday, the special is a pulled pork sandwich with chips for $7.75. The dinner special is baked chicken with mashed potatoes and green beans for $8.75. The dinner special in the Palm Grill on Saturday is prime rib for $19.95. On Sunday, the Crystal Room features its Father's Day brunch for $17.50. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Sunday, the special is ham, egg, and cheese on a croissant with fresh fruit for $7.75. The dinner special is Chef's Choice for $8.75. And the Palm Grill is closed on Sundays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, I'm Pastor Randy here at the Village Church, and I'm with Andy Hawkins, our senior pastor, as we look forward to the weekend, sharing together, celebrating God's goodness, worshiping together here at the Village Church Sunday morning at 10:15. It's always a delightful time as we come together for worship, and as we continue this week, we are also continuing the sermon series, the study from the book of Hebrews.
That's
correct.
correct.
The Superior Christ.
The Superior Christ. And I think it's interesting. I hope people recognize that. As I talk to our congregation, I'm getting that sense. We've been in Hebrews a long time, but haven't really repeated anything. I mean, it's a rich book, and there's so many dimensions of ministry to talk about, and particularly where we are at the present time. We're in the 11th chapter of the book of Hebrews. It's that wonderful faith chapter. Some people call it the Hall of Faith, and there are so many illustrations of faith based upon Old Testament saints that are worthy of our investigation. And we've already looked at, for instance, Abel and Enoch and Noah and Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and Joseph, and now we're finally into Moses. And each of them actually demonstrate a little different aspect of faith, so it certainly is far from repetitive. And then on the last occasion that we had together, we were able to really focus on some very interesting dimensions of faith that Moses parents were able to illustrate. Now we actually get into Moses himself and the decisions that he made, because Moses actually had choices to make in order to do what God wanted him to do. And I think it's important that all of us recognize that to live a life of faith means to make certain kinds of choices. And the choices that he made were revolutionary in character, sometimes countercultural, and always redemptive. And so we're going to explore that this coming Sunday morning.
Okay. Well, as we continue Sunday morning, we've had a series on Sunday night. We'll take a little break from that.
That's right.
I know you and your wife were at the annual council in California, and you've talked about that on the shows this week, but you have more detail to give us Sunday night as it relates to your experience. Tell us about that. Sunday night, what can we expect?
Well, we can expect not only to be introduced to some of the main themes of council. So, for instance, we had Dr. John Stumbo, who was our president. This is his first council as president. He was elected at the last one 2 years ago. This was his first council, and so he articulated a vision based upon Acts 1:8, in which we're to be witnesses both in Jerusalem and Judea, Samaria, the othermost parts of the earth. And he articulated that vision in 4 ways. He talked about love that we ought to have for God and for one another. He talked about proclaiming the truth according to God's word. He talked about the reach that we have across cultures and the use of the church as the launching pad for ministry, and had various speakers that illustrated that. And so we'll have excerpts from a number of those speakers to illustrate those things. And I thought that was an exciting time for us in council. And you'll hear about the highlights that Gene and I had as we were there, and how encouraged we were in the various ministries that took place.
Okay. Well, as we share together Sunday morning, our choir will be singing. We only have 2 weeks left before summer break. Then Sunday night we'll enjoy music. Pam Blau is going to be playing her bells. So we look forward to that. It's always a delightful time as we worship together. So I invite you to join us. The Village Church Sunday morning at 10:15. If you're not able to get there, be sure to tune in as you can watch the broadcast live on ShellPoint TV, Channel 13. And as well, Sunday night at 6:15 as we worship together. Join us. It's going to be a great day, a great weekend. We look forward to seeing you there.
And now it's time to take a look back at the top stories from earlier this week. If you're looking to redecorate for the summer, then it might be time to grab up a great deal on furniture at the community thrift store. Melody Desolé went to check out the deals firsthand and tell us more about the sale that's going on all this month.
Hi ShellPoint, I'm Melody Desolé, and I'd have to say one of the perks of my job is sitting in an interview in this nice lounge chair. Now if you look around me, I'm surrounded by furniture in the community thrift store, and I'm here to tell you that for the entire month of June, all furniture that you see here is 50% off. It doesn't get much better than that. Now, in addition to furniture, we also have floor lamps and table lamps, also 50% off, as well as framed artwork. So if you donated some of your treasures to us during the spring clean, now it's time to get back some things for your apartment. So we invite you to come on out during the entire month of June for 50% off. Thank you so much for coming here, volunteering here, and all that you do for ShellPoint. We appreciate you.
One of the vital keys to overall health is having a healthy mind. Declining mental health is a serious issue that concerns us all as we age and can affect our quality of life and impact our family as well. The most prevalent type of cognitive decline, or dementia, is Alzheimer's. ShellPoint's Vice President of Medical Services, Dr. Roger Herchak, recently sat down with psychiatrist Fred Sheriff, who specializes in these diseases and has conducted some remarkable research and studies on dementia care. This week we brought you the interview over the course of 3 days, and now we'd like to show you the interview in its entirety.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Roger Herchak, Vice President of Medical Services for ShellPoint. I have the opportunity today to meet with Dr. Fred Sheriff, who I believe is a renowned psychiatrist in this area with some remarkable studies with dementia care. And Dr. Sheriff, thank you for being with us today and giving us some of your time.
And thank you so much for having me.
Believe me, it is really our pleasure. Dr. Sheriff, if you would just, for our audience, talk a little bit about your past history, your schooling, and your drive to become a psychiatrist, and why.
Well, I mean, I've had an incredible journey, and that journey probably started after 4 years at Virginia Commonwealth University, where I was pre-med, and then I took a little bit of a different course and was able to obtain a PhD in reproductive endocrinology, followed by my medical degree at the University of Maryland. And then things became very fortunate for me, where I was accepted at the Johns Hopkins Hospital and did a 4-year residency in psychiatry with some medicine and neurology involved, and then was able to actually stay there as an assistant professor for 2 years before coming to Southwest Florida, seeing this as a real destination where there's great opportunity for the type of psychiatry I was taught at Hopkins. I was with some of the leaders in Alzheimer's disease and dementia, like Marshall Folstein and Paul McHugh.
Great. And Johns Hopkins, as everyone knows, is a supreme facility. And Fred, you have a number of certifications. Could you tell me about your board certifications?
Well, I'm board certified in adult and general psychiatry, forensic psychiatry, and I was board certified in geriatric psychiatry, but I did not renew it because we're really focusing on this really exciting time where the research efforts are really what's pushing our whole office.
Yeah. And Fred, it's fascinating to me how society in general right now, and medicine in general, is realizing how important the mind is as far as the overall health, and how neglected the behavioral health aspect of the treatment of individuals is, underfunding and so on. Tell me a little bit about, from your perspective as a board-certified psychiatrist, what is the impact of dementia throughout the United States, just throughout the United States?
Well, I mean, we're in a really interesting time that way. And, you know, the one thing that I'm always asked is, what's the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's disease? And dementia is just the broad category of a cognitive decline over time. Similar to if somebody said, I have cancer, it doesn't tell you what type. So there's about 20 or 30 different types of dementia. But Alzheimer's disease is the one that is really most prevalent. And as of today, there's 5.5 million Americans with it, probably 45,000 in Southwest Florida. Age is a terrible risk factor. So if you're 65, 10% of people have it. If you're 85, 50%. It starts 20 years before you have a symptom. And people say, why is there such an Alzheimer's epidemic, and why are we looking at that? And it's because medical science has really taken on and put to bed, in a way, all the other diseases that used to sort of get us. So heart disease, mortality is down, cancer, diabetes, all of these things are really down, which leaves our brain back to where we are in these bodies that are growing older, and then it gets diseased for many reasons, and that's what we're left with. So if you're 65 years old, you'll live another 20 years because you fought back all the other things that used to get people. And you know, our lifespan has increased. In 1900, the average person lived to be 52. So now it's up to the 80s if you're a female, and close to the 80s if you're a male.
And this is something that we all face as we walk the journey of life. And this is, I think, something that we are all concerned with. Will we lose our cognitive ability to be able to process, to have quality life? Because without our mind, we have no quality of life. And there certainly is an impact on our spouses, you know, also.
Well, it is, and it's also a dirty trick because, you know, most of us have learned that if we work hard and we retire, then we should have some wonderful years. And then when your brain starts having memory problems, you can't enjoy your grandchildren or love your wife or go on a trip and enjoy it. So it's a real issue. And, you know, the other thing we're asked a lot is, what's the difference between, aren't you supposed to get memory loss as you age? Isn't that a normal part of aging? And the answer is, there is an age-associated memory loss where people will forget things. For example, if you give somebody 12 words to repeat and remember, when we're young, we can repeat about 12 of them. And as we age, it'll go down. But even in our 80s, normally we should remember 4, 5, or 6 of them. So that's the normal age-associated memory loss. But we're talking about something different, where you no longer have the ability to remember your doctor's appointments. You forget your keys. You get your finances confused. You start having word-finding problems where you can't remember certain words and you're stalling. And that's a brain disorder that we are taking very seriously. And the world sort of changed over the last month or two, which is also very encouraging.
And I guess that's a great segue into, would you share with us your some of your research studies right now, because you're very much into research, and that I think our resident population, and I think throughout the United States, people would be extremely happy with being educated on. And I've been very impressed because, and if I could just back up, Dr. Sheriff has been with ShellPoint for 12 to 15 years, doing a lot of things behind the scenes for us. And one of the nice things about being associated with Dr. Sheriff in his office is that it gives our ShellPoint residents easy access into any studies that there are. So our relationship goes back quite a few years. But Fred, if you could just tell us again some of the research studies that you're doing and what you're trying to do and some of the accomplishments and maybe some of the challenges for the future.
Well, sure. You know, we have focused, and we're certainly pleased to have this association with you, and it's been a pleasure to work together because we're in a community where the brain is the most important organ, and that's what we're focusing on. So I've had really the luck of a tremendous team that I've been able to put together, talented people. It's not about me, it's about my team, where we've really been able to be identified as a world destination for clinical trials. And we've done over 125 just in Alzheimer's disease and memory, probably 300 total. These are clinical trials that are monitored by the FDA. They are financed by the pharmaceutical companies, so there's no charge to anyone. And it's cutting edge research. So for example, right now, we have about 8 enrolling studies. We have studies for people with Alzheimer's disease. We have studies for people that just want to find out if they have Alzheimer's disease, and we're developing a tracer that can identify it. And most excitingly, about a year and a half ago, we started working with a company called Biogen. They're a small company located in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And they had a monoclonal antibody. That's an antibody similar to if you get a flu shot and your body makes an antibody against the virus. This is an antibody, but it's made in a laboratory and infused in people. And the idea was if you could get rid of amyloid. Amyloid is an abnormal protein that seems to start the process of brain cells dying in patients with Alzheimer's disease. If you could decrease that, it could stop this thing from progressing. And in fact, for the first time since 1906, when Alois Alzheimer defined Alzheimer's disease and said we have plaques and tangles, this particular study, when we have about 4 people in our office that are part of that study, showed that it stopped the disease from progressing, which just shook the world. I mean, the stock went up, which I can't own ever, but it went on all the news media. It was announced in Nice, France. And interestingly, we are the first site in the world that's going to be starting to enrolling people in the next couple weeks as soon as the FDA gives us the go. Wow. And it just means that there's hope. There's finally a way, possibly, if this data continues to show that it stops the progression of the disease. So it stopped it in 3 ways, actually. It showed that it reduced the amyloid in the brain when they took scans. Okay. It showed that it stopped the cognitive decline. So when people were tested, they tested as well when they entered the study as a year and a half later. Wow. And we know that you lose about 2 points a year on a certain test as this disease progresses. And finally, their activities of daily living, they were able to continue to function at home without any deterioration. So that was a triple play. And the exciting thing is it's a small study. It only had 166 people in it. It was a phase 1. Usually go to phase 2. Now it went straight to 3. Wow. There'll be 2,200 people worldwide. Hopefully we'll have about 50 of them right here in Southwest Florida. It's truly an exciting, different time with this disease, and there's a glimmer of hope that the idea that by 2025 there'll be a cure or a way to at least stop the progression may actually be a reality.
That is amazing, and it's wonderful things for us to hear and talk about quality of life and quality of life for your spouse. That are there other studies, Fred, that your office is doing?
Well, they are. I mean, 2 might interest you. One is actually a study for people that have less than 6 months left to live, and I know that sounds very morbid, but we've done those studies before that help to get tracers on the market to diagnose this disease. Okay. And there is a study looking for people that would be willing to get a scan and then donate the brain to bring the science forward. But probably more interesting is we have a study now with healthy people that don't have cognitive impairment between 65 and 83. The whole issue is, what are the factors that allow someone to start losing their memory? So this particular study that's done by the Takeda pharmaceutical company is asking us, our site alone, we're one of 50 in the world, to enroll 300 people with no cognitive impairment, and we'll follow them for the next 5 years, twice a year, test them to see if they're starting to have a decline, if they're having any signs that they might have this pre-Alzheimer's condition called mild cognitive impairment. So it's very exciting. It's an easy study. It is, again, no cost, and it's just very exciting to be involved in this sort of changing world. We're also doing a lot of work on how to help people preserve their brains. And, you know, there is a Mayo Clinic study that said that about 50% or more of memory problems are due to modifiable factors, such as
reversible, maybe then.
Diet, exercise, We also know from the epidemiology that African Americans and Hispanics have twice the rate of Alzheimer's disease than Caucasians. And the reason is that they have modifiable factors that unfortunately haven't been modified. So they have high rates of hypertension, diabetes, cardiac disease, and high cholesterol. So we're talking to people about how they can exercise, how walking's so important, how just walking and have your bones release osteoclastin, which can actually grow brain cells. So there's so many things we can do, and I'm sure your efforts here are also into the healthy heart, healthy brain.
Sure, blood pressure, watch your diabetes, and boy, that is just amazing. Fred, for our audience, could you tell us how any of our residents here could find out more information for themselves or maybe for their loved ones, how they may qualify, or just get more information about the studies that you're doing?
Right, and I appreciate that, because one of the things that our team has taken on is we're trying to also be sort of a clearinghouse for information, because there's so much out there. You know, this is a business now, and there's many people that are making money off of selling different things that really don't work. So we often see people, and we don't put them in studies, but we give them information. We assess them, and they find out things such as they have sleep apnea, or they need to have their hearing checked, because there's a great correlation between dementia and hearing loss. Okay. In fact, there's a Hawkins study that showed that if you have hearing loss and you don't correct it, you can lose up to a cubic centimeter of brain tissue. Amazing. So if anyone's interested, we have a team there. I have about 15 people that are great and they're dedicated. They just have to call our office, 939-7777. Okay. Dr. Vadalato here is part of our team too. He's involved in a study or two with us at all times. He's a great resource, and they can ask Dr. Vadalato how to get connected. He has literature about it. You certainly know plenty about it. Yeah. And we have an open door policy, so I would encourage people to call us and come up and see us. It's not that far.
And I would say also our medical providers know Dr. Sheriff, so don't be afraid to bring up to your primary care physicians questions you may have, so that you might also be able to have another avenue of getting a referral in to see Dr. Sheriff or his group to see if you would qualify for some of these studies. And we will be having an article done on Dr. Sheriff and his group in the next, or may not be the next, but in one of the upcoming Shell Point magazines, to again go over a lot of this information and also give you an avenue to call Dr. Sheriff's office to find out more on your own with numbers and contacts. Dr. Sheriff, thank you so much for being here with us. God bless you for what you do, and I just hope that we could remain part of your studies here at Shell Point, and we could all benefit from this.
No, and I really appreciate it. I think the citizens of your community should know your dedication to collaboration, and that's what this is about, is collaboration. And we have a great opportunity to collaborate for the better mental and physical health of the community.
Body, mind, and spirit.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
This week, salon and spa manager Robin Church told us about a skincare class that's coming up on Monday the 22nd. It's a popular hands-on experience that is sure to be great fun.
Hi, I'm Heather Batty with Resort Services. Today I'm here with Robin Church from the Salon and Spa. We're here to reintroduce to you a program that is backed by popular demand, Complexion Perfection. So how many times have you done this program, Robin?
It's been a couple of years now we've been doing this program, and every time the class fills up, so make sure and register early. We have a lot of fun in this class. It's a hands-on class. You want to come without any makeup on, and what we're going to do is each of us are going to cleanse our skin. We're going to show you the proper way to cleanse your skin that doesn't draw the skin down. For example, you don't want to be rubbing your cleanser in and pulling your skin down, because we want to lift everything up. And then we're going to do a treating mist, and then we're going to have fun with a mask. Now this part is really fun, and I always take a picture during the time when everyone has their mask on, which everyone loves, right? And then we're going to apply some moisturizer. By the time you leave, your skin will be silky smooth. You will have learned so much. We're going to be using all of our professional GM Collin products, which are fabulous. We're so happy with this line. And I hope you join us. We're going to have a great time.
Make sure you sign up like Robin said, because this class does fill up. So we hope to see you there. Thank you and have a great day.
You know, the community thrift store is a great place to volunteer, occupy your time, and have fun while doing so. Earlier this week, Melody Desolé gave us a teaser of the special thrift store tour that's coming up next week.
Hi Shell Point, I'm Melody Desolé, Volunteer Coordinator at Shell Point, and I am here at the Community Thrift Store to offer you a very exciting opportunity to join us on a volunteer tour of the thrift store. Now the thrift store has 6 different committees to choose from. What we're really looking for is afternoon help throughout the summer, but if something strikes your fancy, we can certainly use your help. Now the 6 committees include cashiering, sales, display and design, pricing and sorting, research, and receiving and maintenance. So come on out here on June 22nd, it's a Monday, from 9:30 to 10:30. Now let's explore together what you may see on Monday the 22nd. No, that would be too easy. I want you to come out and join us. So please call me if you are interested in learning about all the volunteer committees we have at the thrift store, and my number is 454-2290. I look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks for joining us today. This has been Shell Point Today for the weekend of June 19th, 20th, and 21st. Be sure to watch again on Monday when we'll have more stories and information from right here at Shell Point. On behalf of the entire SPTV staff, we'd like to thank you for watching, and we wish you a wonderful weekend.